Question for you. Since your recovery, have you struggled with the way that you speak to yourself and or the way that you treat yourself? If so, stick around because I'm going to be teaching you about self-compassion and how to use it in your daily life. What's going on, survivors? Welcome to the video. I hope you're well. So, self-compassion, what is it? I'm going to give you the online definition and then I'm going to get into it a little bit. So, self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness, care and understanding that you would offer a good friend during times of failure, inadequacy or suffering. So, let's get into it. Self-compassion is not about being soft on yourself or wrapping yourself up in cotton wool, Self-compassion is about being human to yourself, You wouldn't talk to a loved one, a friend, a family member in the way that you talk to yourself. So why do we do it? Most of us, if not all, speak to ourselves in ways that we would never speak to somebody else, even a stranger, We would show some kind of compassion. We replay mistakes in our heads, We criticise our bodies, criticise ourselves. We tell ourselves that we should be stronger, that we should be further along than where we are, Over time, it makes us believe that it's right, that the thoughts are right, and it becomes the loudest voice that we hear in our head. So what I want you to understand is that the way that you talk to yourself is shaping the way that you're healing. So how's it doing that? Because when you're talking to yourself in a harsh way, a derogatory way, you're sending signals to your nervous system. We don't realise how powerful words are. So what happens to us is our nervous system receives what we're saying to ourselves, and because our mind doesn't, or our brain can't filter between truth and lie, it believes what we're telling ourselves. So it makes us be on edge. It makes us be nervous, anxious. It gives us low mood, It makes us look at ourselves in a way that we're not doing good enough, that we're failing. So what we need to do is be more kind to ourselves. So when it's kind, your body feels safer and healing, physical or emotional, happens best in safety because you're allowing yourself that time to heal and recover, and you're telling yourself that you're not doing bad or anything wrong. You're not behind, You're basically where you need to be for your body to heal and repair. We forget that we've been through a trauma, but more than anything else, the medication that we've been on has taken a toll on the body. For me, I've been off chemotherapy for just over a year, and only recently come off hydrocortisone, but I still get sore muscles, sore bones, joints lock up, pins and needles, literally every time I sit down for a few minutes or so, So I have to keep moving myself, keep moving my body. So self-compassion starts with being aware, having the awareness of what has really happened or what has happened and where you are really at. Take notice of how you speak to yourself at certain times. So when you're tired, when you feel scared, when you're struggling, what would you say to yourself? And then what would you say to somebody else that needs compassion? So you've got to give that compassion to yourself. If you feel that you're going to, or you're speaking harshly, then acknowledge it, understand what's happening and what you're doing, and start just by softening the tone or the language, and then just speak to yourself as if you would speak to a friend or a relative or a loved one, So instead of saying that I'm failing, tell yourself that I'm having a hard day, it's just a bad day. It doesn't mean that you're failing in life. You see what I'm trying to say? I have these moments myself still, and I'll listen to what he's got to say, the thoughts, and then I'll counteract that with, no, but this is the situation, this is reality. I've been through this, I've come off this, and my body's relearning how to look after itself. So instead of saying, I should be this far by now, I should have achieved this by now, or, let yourself know that healing takes time. There's no time scale on it. Doctors, surgeons, consultants, nurses, they can't give you as accurate time scale as you would like. I've given an example of this in previous videos about coming off hydrocortisone, being weaned off it. Then a month later, my consultant wants me to restart on it because my levels weren't where he wants them to be. But I said to myself, maybe I should give my body a bit more time to adjust. It's only been 4 weeks and it's not a long time in reality. So I gave myself extra time, and within 2 weeks later, I felt fairly normal in a way, and when I went back for my consultation, blood tests were done and he was happy with the results. So it's, like I say, it's just about giving yourself that time. You can't speed anything up, as much as they'll give you medication, that's to help a symptom of what you're going through at that time. And a lot of chemotherapy is to prevent cancer reoccurrence for me, the first 3 years, but it literally shuts down the body. So the body has to relearn. You see what I'm saying? So another way to build a better relationship with yourself is to treat yourself as somebody worth caring for. Like, you are here for a reason. You have got things that you want to do in life, but you may be being called to do in life, There is reason for you being here. So start taking care of yourself, start looking after yourself, start helping yourself, even if it's just the way that you speak to yourself. I'm not expecting you to go out and do 3 sessions a week in the gym, 5 sessions a week in the gym and run a marathon, or, that's not what I'm trying to say at all. I'm just saying, speak to yourself in a kind manner. And when bad thoughts try to arise, by all means hear what they've got to say, but make sure you counteract it, because your brain needs to know what the truth is. It can't decipher that's a lie, that's a truth. You've got to tell it. Okay? So things that may help, care for yourself a little bit better, I've listed, are resting without guilt. You shouldn't be feeling guilty for resting your body. If your body needs the rest, take the rest. You shouldn't have to explain yourself to people or why you're taking rest. It shouldn't be making you feel guilty in any way, shape, or form. And I know that you may want to get back to, a way of life, back to work, back to feeling normal, but you can't rush it, okay? Setting boundaries without apology. Know your limits, Basically, don't let yourself become overwhelmed, feeling like you're at a place where you shouldn't be, feeling like you're accepting what you're saying to yourself or what other people are saying to you. If it's not right, set the boundaries, stick to the boundaries, because with those boundaries comes peace. With the peace comes healing. It's just a process. It takes time, but before you know it, you will be back on your feet. From that, speaking to yourself with patience, have patience with yourself. There's nothing that we can do to make things faster, to make things heal quicker. The body needs the time that it needs. You've got to give it to it. As well as that, you've got to speak to yourself in a way that is patient and understanding. Yeah? Doing one small thing each day that supports your well-being. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it helps your mental state, how you feel, do it, Even if it's just sitting in the garden, even if it's just a walk to the shop, walk your dog. There's varying many ways. Computer games, find an escape. For me, as well, looking after myself, obviously, I like to exercise anyway, and I always have done. I like sports, I like playing sports, but where well-being is concerned, it's more simple things, keeping my place clean and tidy as much as I can do, keeping on top of my things. And it may only be one thing a day that I do, but as long as I do something, that makes me feel a bit better in my surroundings, how I feel, it helps, and every little helps. So those are 4 small points just to take and start with. It's not world-changing things, it's rest, it's boundaries, it's speaking and doing. So resting and not feeling a way about it, setting boundaries and not apologising, speaking to yourself with the patience that you need and require, because you need it from other people. So why are you not giving it to yourself, And then doing one small thing, and before you know it, you will develop habits. Apparently, it takes 21 days or so to develop a habit. While you're healing, while you're recovering, that time will fly by. You won't even realise, but in that time, you've developed a habit, While you're recovering, you lose the concept of time anyway. Time doesn't matter to you, unless it's the time to take your medication. But other than that, it's just day, night, one day to the next. So use it, use that time to help yourself, to learn self-compassion, learn self-love, because they're not grand gestures. They're just small, simple things, but consistently, yeah? One thing a day, small thing a day, that helps you feel a little bit better about yourself and what you've been through, what you've accomplished from surviving, you know what I mean? So if you've been through illness, trauma, you're in survival, or you are a survivor, self-compassion is not optional, yeah? It's necessary, it's a must, because you're going to find yourself in a rabbit hole, going down that rabbit hole, simply because of the way that you're speaking to yourself and allowing yourself to interpret what you're saying. So make small steps, make those changes, and make it a little bit more positive. You've already been through enough. You don't need to be your own enemy too, okay? Life has thrown enough at you. You've gotten through it, yeah? It's not the time now to be talking down on yourself, to not be treating yourself well, okay? For me, even if it's just a little haircut, though I need a haircut each week, I can't afford to do that. And besides that, even if I could, I wouldn't. I would allow myself the time to where I feel like I need a haircut and then go and get the haircut. Why? Because when I come out, I feel that little bit better about myself. I feel that little bit cleaner, that little bit smarter, you know? So make the little steps and get to where you want to be. It can be done. It will be done. You know, you're still here. You're here for a reason. Let's get on it and start enjoying life. I'll see you in the next one. God bless. See you soon.